Hello and welcome. I'm the Restless Gazer.
I'm James Workshop.
But together we are Modelling for Advantage. Third and final in our series of reviewing these new Age of Sigmar start sets.
Certainly is.
We've reviewed the introductory set.
Let's get rid of it. We've done the starter set.
And we are left with this big old box. Ultimate starter.
Ultimate.
They had cooler names in the previous one. They were called like Maximus and things like that.
But were they ultimate?
They weren't ultimate.
Okay, they were Latin ultimate. Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool.
Okay, tell them what they get.
This box contains 72-page rulebook.
They're getting bigger, these books.
144-page Spearhead, Fire and Jade book. A 36-card Spearhead deck. 1 double-sided gaming board. 10 six-sided dice. You leave it alone. 2 range rulers. A measuring stick. And range rulers. That's nice.
Range rulers and measuring stick.
2 reference sheets. 4 Spearhead terrain features. Includes 37 Citadel miniatures. Stormcast Eternals.
I think we know these, don't we?
We've got extra models. Do you want me to do the extra models?
What are the extra models?
So we've got a Lord Vigilant on a Gryff Stalker.
Yeah.
Who's a big guy on a
we basically get a hero for each of the factions. And you get a
Claw Lord on Norbeast.
Claw, Maw, a lot of chomping.
Rat word on rat thing.
I reckon it's a really noisy eater as well.
It probably is, yeah.
All right, cool. Do we need a knife?
No knife.
No plastic, no tape. This is
free.
Ready to go.
Certainly is.
This one, I think we checked retail for 130. It is. We'll put the price on the screen. We'll check it when we make the video. Double check. We're terrible at remembering the prices. Pull your end. To me. To you.
Made it.
Okay. Well so this is nearly double the price of the starter set.
Nearly double.
For one more model because there's a lot of each. Right. But it's a big model and there's a lot more other bits in it. We're going to sort the stuff, sprues out, and we'll be right back. All right, we're going to talk about sprues in a minute. Let's go through the other bits that come in the box first.
Dinged up art.
The box topper.
The box topper. I like these. I'll frame one day.
One day. It protects the bits underneath from being damaged by the sprues. Excellent.
We got dice.
I've said this before, I will keep saying it. 12 is the correct number, not 10. Lovely little envelope. Wedding favours, that was the... That's what they remind me of.
Well, your choices were 12 10mm dice or 10 12mm dice. Which do you prefer?
12 of the right dice.
12mm dice.
Well, actually, personally, I'd go for 13 because I'm more of a Nurgle dude.
Oh, you really?
All right.
That's wrong, though. That's not in inches. Let's put them with the rest, shall we?
And then with the rest. You only get 10 dice, should be 12. Proper imperial number, like the ruler in inches.
Bases.
It's
the same bag of bases.
They've got the holes in these models, are all push fit. Their feet are keyed and pinned into the bases. And we get the oval bases.
We do.
Because the 2 new models you're getting here are big.
They are. A wad.
A wad, a pouchette. Is that our game board?
I think it might be. A not so soft game board this time.
Right.
Give me one.
So I think that's where we're expecting like the increased cost of this box. Like who's this box for? Yeah, that's
baby. Right.
Oh baby, try not to tear it.
That's the one. So that's
So this is your double-sided grey board.
Is it the same art?
I think it is. It's green on one side,
pushed over a little bit. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's less vivid actually.
It is.
That's just there. Look, can you reach it?
It's got less colour saturation, hasn't it?
Yeah. If you look at that, so we'll flip this. This is no. You're looking at the wrong side. That's the green side you've got there, James. And I know you're colourblind.
Colours exist.
This is our green. So the paper play mat is much brighter, much more vivid.
Nice. Just iron it, you know.
Yeah. It's just shinier. Okay. Well, there are many dice lost on the floor.
No, we lost a dice. It's
right. Okay. So cool. That's proper game board.
That's good.
Yeah. I will find. Shall I try and get that back in when I get the next thing?
Yeah.
I want the components in this. This is £130.
Double the price.
Yeah, but it's also £130. That's a complete game from other people. The components in here should be of a good quality. First up, the board is nice.
One of them. Oh, a mini Fire and Jade.
So we get the ubiquitous rendered down,
Yeah.
the A5 paperback
I haven't seen one of them in a while.
of the A4 full size Daughters of Cain. So flicking through this is exactly as described. It is the same book, page for page. How many pages you got, James? Is it 140-ish?
140-ish. 144. It's the same book, but smaller.
Yeah, it's the same book but smaller. Cool.
Nice.
Really that
good.
one we got in the launch box, which was it called Vermintide?
Skaventide.
Skaventide. Yeah. Okay. But that's good because he's going to take this down the club with you or whatever. So this is perhaps a better format. Now, as an older man with small eyes, small eyes. I don't have small eyes.
That's what happens. You shrink your eyes as you get older.
The text in here is quite small. There's a lot of, when you're looking at the unit special rules, I would definitely have to get my reading glass and move close to the light to read it. But it is all there.
It is.
Because Spearhead is a new version of the game.
It is. Paled down, smaller forces, and it's got all of the different forces that you could possibly play at the moment in here. Shaped like start collecting boxes, which they've renamed Spearhead boxes, which makes total sense. Handbook. It's the same handbook as last time. With all the same contents, so it's
the same as the one that comes in the starter set.
In the starter set, yeah.
Right, which is taking you through the first few turns, teaching you the basics of Age of Sigmar. There's kind of two ways you might use this set, isn't there? One is, I want to play Age of Sigmar, this is a collection builder, or this is me getting started building a Stormcast or a Skaven army. But the other is that you're going into the Spearhead. So this paperback is about
Playing the
Sigmar.
Game. Yeah. A little bit of fluff, a little bit of crunch, a little bit of paint, and the instructions for putting stuff together with.
Good stuff. Oh, you're giving them a preview of the new sprue. Those cards.
Yep. Your Fire and Jade cards. Is how you play this season of Spearhead.
This season. So Fire and Jade is this season. I suppose we are now talking about Spearhead, aren't we?
We sure are.
We sure are. This is two Spearhead forces.
Yeah.
There is another Spearhead force in that book for Skaven, and where apart from the Clan Rats, no models are the same. I think
there's another one for the Storm.
There's another one for the Stormcast, and probably apart from the Liberators, everything is different. And those may be coming later, or you make those from existing kits.
Spearhead box. Yeah.
But what Spearhead is it's not kilting. It is definitely a cut down scale game of Age of Sigmar. So you're playing Age of Sigmar, but you're playing it with the contents of an old start collecting box or very similar to that. That's what we've got here. And then some extra bits, so there are twists and procedural missions and things on these cards. They're set in seasons, the first one being Fire and Jade, and then the two sides of that board, Fire versus Jade. And that's good because that tells me that they're planning to keep moving it around.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
from a player perspective, the fact that there are seasons of this game is like, oh, am I always going to have to buy new stuff? But if they release this miniature version of the book, and there's only ever like 40 cards, if they keep doing this in every single starter set, I'm going to be able to buy this for £10 on eBay.
You absolutely will be able to buy
the models I already own.
Yes.
There's no version of the large rulebook which will ever be £10, but this I can buy quite easily.
Yes.
I owned quite a lot of copies of the 7th edition rulebook and started giving them to people eventually.
Because they came in the starter sets and used them as a collection builder. Yeah. So unlike Kill Team or Warcraft, it's not like a totally different game, but it's really, it is Sigmar, but it's got some extra bits to make the game more engaging when you're only playing with like 25 models across the side.
Definitely. And apropos to that, we have reference sheets specifically for the Stormhead, for the Stormcast.
Stormhead. I've got the Stormcast one here. You've got the Skaven.
Spearhead forces. These are explicitly both quick reference sheets with core abilities, core rules, how the turn works, and then also all of your data cards for the force. I love these.
I like it a lot. And the design of I've got my crib sheet on the outside and my codex on the inside means I'm normally looking at one bit, but I might need to double check a stat.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I open it up.
I like this a lot.
It's a function. Yeah, and it's good production values. But I'm looking at this, right? And when we reviewed Adeptus Titanicus, it printed its tokens on worse cardstock than this.
You're right.
I'm like, why can't they give me my tokens in at least this stuff? Right.
It's great.
Yeah. We do not know anything more really about Spearhead than what we have told you, but we are planning to play it, which for me, I think that should tell you a lot about how positive I am. I know Combat Patrol in 40k was an unbalanced mess, but I don't think they didn't do enough. In this, the unit data sheets have been quite heavily tweaked and have special powers associated with them. I think they had the experience of how unbalanced and experienced Combat Patrol have been.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that works is, in 40k there's shooties and there's stat choppies, right? In fantasy, people chop. And some people shoot, right? But they're expecting to get chopped. And that means the smaller board isn't such a big problem.
Definitely.
A shooty force on a small board is doomed. When everybody fights just one way or another, the small board
the fighty force will win.
So, well, we're all fighting.
Yeah.
All right.
Shall we do sprues?
Let's do sprues.
Let's do sprues.
Yeah. Should we do sprues in relation to the reference sheet?
Yeah, let's do it.
There's not a lot of point in talking about the stats, though, because we don't... You do know the game.
I know Age of Sigmar First Edition.
Excellent. He knows the game. He's a pro.
I'm sure it's changed massively since then. Let's start with
we
the new
whistle
model.
through... Oh, we're going to start with the new model.
This is new. This is a Lord Vigilant on a Griff Stalker.
It's a big boy, isn't it?
It is. It's a large model.
Big model.
Can I have a clan rat, please?
You have a clan rat?
Clan rat for scale.
A clan rat for scale.
Yeah. So this is a human-sized model.
Yeah, and these are quite big. These are bigger than the old clan rats, I think.
They certainly are. Look, this.
Kill,
big model.
Kill.
A larger than normal dude.
I reckon 20 of these guys can take him.
Yeah, I reckon they can too, to be frank. Yes. It is a model. It delivers judgment. It plans attacks. We have a tactician.
So this model is big. How well did it go together, James?
It was slightly more awkward than the other models that are in this set. I generally had no issues with everything else. I remember because it's got two halves of the Griff Stalker.
Yeah.
Not a Griff Charger, not a Griff Hound, not a Griff Crow, whatever. And both of them have 8 pins. And you need to align all of them and wiggle all of them and get it all perfectly right. This was a good clip and glue.
Clip the pins off.
I didn't,
but you reckon
if
you were doing it again, you would do that.
I might.
But the issue with the pins, if there's something wrong with it, is getting them out again because it's so tight. So, like you said, I think in the previous video, you want to dry fit something.
Yeah.
The problem with these pins is you can't dry fit it because if it's in the wrong place, you're basically committing to it at that point. But you managed to get it done without any mistakes. I'm not seeing any big gaps here.
Thanks.
It's curious, isn't it? Because it's hollow. It's a big thing. Hollow. It doesn't weigh. I mean, it weighs a little bit, but
not much more than one of these. It's probably a similar amount of plastic.
It's quite
a pleasant model. I like looking at it.
I've got to say, I mean, there's nothing about the aesthetic of this that I like. By the way, I don't like the crow rather than the eagle. Okay. I like the kind of eagle angel thing. Yeah. The dude is a bit spiky. I mean, I could imagine that this dude in a vampire coat. Yeah. Painted differently. Yes. They've got a bit grittier. The big axe with the lightningy, smoky bits coming off.
It's a fluff thing. I think I've explained it to you previously, but let's do it again, shall we?
For the benefit of the viewers.
As Stormcast die, progressively they become less and less likely to come back right. They come back, but they're not. They come back a bit. They're not fully there. A little more hollow than they were when they started. Yeah. So as their armor gets older, it gets more and more ornate, and they get a little weirder until eventually they retire. That's the word we're using. Retire. Yeah. You go into retirement. Yeah. And you get brought out at parades, and that's about it. Yeah. Looked after. And you got a person who looks after you at all times. Yeah. The Stormcast at the moment are getting very desperate. And what they need is a group of people who have spent thousands of years fighting and survived it, and that they can just, died 1,000 times they just wheel them out and they do great. Right. But maybe next time they don't come back.
Right. Okay.
That's the issue. So the extra ornate armor is then being like, you know what? These are good guys. Let's give them a little extra kit. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Make them look more twirly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the point I was going to make is like, there's nothing about this aesthetic that I particularly like,
Right.
and yet I really like this model.
It's a lovely model.
I like holding it. My hands are quite small, but this model fills my hand comfortably, and it doesn't weigh anything. I can't help but sort of
It's odd, isn't it?
touch it and feel it, which I did not feel the same way about the Nord thing.
Let's
Anyway,
go over and do that one.
what we said we're going to do the.
We do all of it.
We're going to do, but we're going to blitz these because you've seen them in the previous video. We talked about them in
If you
more
haven't seen the
detail.
previous video, please watch it in its completion from beginning to end.
Indeed.
This is a Lord Veritant.
Lord Veritant.
With a Griffhound.
So he's got another crow dog with him.
Griffhound. Gosh. What are they called? A Griff Crow.
A Griff Crow.
And a Griff Crow. So they got a little dog with them. This is an anti-wizard.
Anti-magic dog.
It's an anti-wizard dog.
Anti-magic dog. Who doesn't want one of them?
Exactly. I want one of those at all times. We got prosecutors. They're flappy. I like how they flap. Explained it in the previous video. Each one of these pieces of sprue is a whole model, and I love that. It makes it so much easier to put together. They're very tall. They take up a lot of space. I'm going to be using them for my custodies. I love them. I think
They're not helicopters, though, are
They're
they?
not helicopters. They could be.
They're a lot sturdier than they look, though.
They are,
They look like front. The most flimsy thing on this, the thing that I would be concerned about, is the spear
Yeah,
snapping.
the spear. Or the foot, maybe, but no, I'm very confident with them.
Yeah.
As I said in the... I've dropped them. They're fine.
And then they're great looking wings. They're not bird wings. They don't look very animal like at all. They look
Slightly magic, slightly mechanical. They've really got it going for them.
they got a bit of a dark Eldar feel to them.
They do. You could use them as scourges or something.
But I guess the range Warhammer's got is so vast that they can't help but kind of things are going to recur, however unintentionally.
Yeah.
But they look like artificial wings.
The Stormcaster going dark, don't you know?
Yes.
Edgy.
Yes, because we look at the Liberators, they've got nailed an extra strip of metal across the front of
They
their
have.
face just to be more.
They have. Man in the Iron Mask look. Yeah, they've leaned up. They're tougher. They're stronger. They can run slightly faster than they used to. Gussets remain unripped.
But they don't feel the need to stretch their bodies quite as much as the old ones. Yeah, they got a bit more of a rugged look. I think these new... I like the previous Liberators, but I like these too, and they do surprisingly look a bit different.
They do, definitely.
The posing's very different. You definitely would recognise, put two side by side, you'd be like, that model and that model look different.
There's a lot less flowing robes and all sorts of things going on with them as well.
Because they're like the entry level dude, right?
Yeah, there used to be a lot of purity seals.
Did
So to speak, yeah, there's a lot of like running cloth and things, and they've got rid of a lot of that stuff. They're less ornate, more militaristic. Like, we're here to fight.
Right.
We're not here to
not
muck
to
about
parade.
like we used to be. Yeah.
Kill.
Skaven. Where's my reference sheet?
Warpstone.
Skaven.
Reference sheet.
I love this.
We're starting with the big boy, which is, I believe, a burger in the States, but that's not what it is here.
Okay, it's a Claw Lord on Norbeast.
So, this, if you just take the Skaven half and go away and build it and start, you're thinking that is a big model, big dude with a spear, but it's actually really scrawny looking next to this one. They're similar kind of overall like height and width. This one's definitely bigger, but there's a lot leaner. Suddenly this quite dangerous looking rat with a rat on top of it looks really mangy and
Which is the point.
Yeah, but it looks more sort of sick than hungry than dangerous. Do you know what I mean? It looks more like it wants you to feed it, not your brains or whatever.
Yeah.
Just a few scraps. And the aesthetic therefore really got this looks like a very well fed and pampered beast compared to this thing.
Yeah.
He's nice, similar to that. I think Johnny B made these for me, but he had more, this one was more work than the others by a country mile. Like the clan rats, he was just slapping them together. This took a little bit more time.
Yeah.
When it comes to painting, at the start on these, there's a lot more detail on these models than like if you used to painting all the skin. There's a lot more like different scraps of fabric and patches of hair and so forth. And just the amount of different textures we've got in the face of this beast.
Yeah, definitely.
And the teeth, there's several...
Skin and fur and good skin, bad skin.
Yeah. Well, this guy's got a big spear, he's got a pistol, he's a claw lord for clawing on a Norbeast.
Phenomenal.
I think it does what it says on the tin.
It really does.
Sprue-wise, then,
Bing, bang, boom.
that was this. He is standing on a scenic base.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not sure he could stand because he's kind of climbing his way up this. I mean, he's not climbing, he's just kind of grabbing it as he's walking along, I guess. But I don't think you could not have it on this base. Look, a pro modeler could, but it'd be a lot of work for not very much.
It is a lovely base.
Is it?
I like it. It's probably quite hard to paint now I'm looking at it.
Yeah, once you've got the model standing on top of it. So if I have, again, issues with this, you've got this, I assume this is like warpstone in pools of
It'd be a
bilge.
pool of some kind, yeah.
Yeah, with glowing green rocks in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've got the model standing on top of this that you need to paint later. So I'm not sure how easy it is to get to be honest. But yeah, again, it's a bit more involved, but we are comparing this to like 3-piece, 2-piece push-fit models.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's more complicated than a 2-piece clan rat.
And will be in its own box at some point.
And almost certainly will be in its own box at some point. He's the model that's unique that comes in this box, but not in the middle and starter set and so forth. That was him.
Speed run.
Then we get the two heroes.
Grey Seer.
Warlock
engineer.
Fantastic. You want to know more about these? We talked about them in the video, but this wizard character, interesting because the Vertin, there's an anti-wizard on the other side. So I imagine this guy's basically a chump because the Sigmar have got a lot less heroes and a lot less models. Probably mostly makes this guy ineffective. Love the look though of the Grey Seer with the Warlock engine seer or warp lock in my opinion. He's got a rifle. He's got a little spyglass. He's got chemicals being injected directly into his body to make him pro. It's a great looking model. What's the range on that model, James?
24
inches. Look at that.
That's
Boom.
a pretty good range for this.
On that size board, that's most of the board.
That's the board.
That's the board.
Clan rats.
You
get lots of them.
You get
they kill
20 of them on one sprue. On this, you can make this as 1 unit of 20 or 2 units of 10. There are 2 musicians, 2 standard bearers, and 2 leaders. If you wish them, different heads for Clan Pestilence, etc. Probably isn't all of the ones because there's quite a lot.
It's just the leader head.
The leader head. No. But I mean, I think there's only 3 or 4 options.
Oh, yeah.
But probably if you're deep into the lore, there are many Skaven clans. And so Johnny started painting these with speed paints. They go together quite quick. In terms of painting, so this is an example of the musician. This guy's just holding a bell.
And a shield.
And a shield, because the alternative right-hand side of this model is holding a weapon in a similar pose. That's how that fits. Yeah, so you can build these quite quickly, but they're a bit more involved in painting because of the fabric and the hair patches and so forth, and the sort of these Skaven. It's almost like they've got that. Where the kind of teeth are almost erupting slightly outside of the flesh of the. So you've got kind of a few layers here, similar around some of the claws and things on some of them. It's like they're kind of stretching outside of the flesh.
What makes them lovely models is also what makes them hard to paint.
Yes, but all 20 of them are unique.
Yeah,
and in fact, some of them have got options of like 2 or 3 different hand weapons. And then we get the rat ogres. Ogres, sorry. You do have to build these exactly. This one takes the gun, the other 2 don't. There's no option to having the 3 without. You see on the sheet there. But yeah, nice big models. Lots of. And they're not muscly. They're bloated and swollen, but
too much warpstone.
Too much warpstone. Yeah, absolutely. They're just too much. Yeah, they look like their legs struggle to support the weight of their upper body.
And yet here they are.
And yet here they are because it's a fantasy setting. It's the models. There's one more sprue.
Oh yeah, there it is. You have 4 spearhead terrain features.
They're not calling this a terrain sprue because it makes 2 very small bits of wall and 2 bits of scatter terrain.
Yes, it does.
Look, they definitely have put a lot more scenery in some of these bigger boxes before. I think at the price point of £130, they could have done a better job with the scenery. I got to be brutal about that.
Yep.
It's a nice looking bit of scenery.
It's lovely scenery.
It's like a dirtied up version of
The old Stormcast stuff.
The old Stormcast stuff.
With skeletons hanging off of it, and the rats have been at it, and
and there's like scratchings in the wall and
boarded
so
up
forth.
doors. So it's storytelling as well as a piece of scenery, isn't it?
Yes.
The advancement of the Age of Sigmar storyline. Some rats have broken into somewhere Stormcast, and they're having a jolly old time of it.
But even on the kind of kill team size board that you get there, this does not feel like nearly enough scenery.
No, it doesn't.
This feels like less than half as much. You need 3 sprues of that at least.
Don't you forget. Measuring stick.
Measuring stick.
We nearly forgot.
There
it is.
So it's got rats on it.
It's got rats
Is it
on
rats
it.
or
It's
skulls?
got rats and skulls.
Rats and skulls. It wouldn't be Warhammer if it didn't have skulls on it.
What it doesn't have is an indicator of how many inches it is.
It's not like 1 skull per inch.
No. Well, it is. But like, if I'm putting this down and I'm like, what's 4 inches?
You're going to end up counting it out.
You end up counting it out.
Yeah.
This, I don't know if they still do, but it used to be a game of half inches also. So
Is that why the rat's at the halfway point?
Well, there's not really a great indicator of a half inch because it's quite a long rat.
It's quite a long rat. It's also not. I don't think the rat's that good, actually.
No, they're not very well moulded rats, are they?
No, they're not. Or skulls. So the idea with this is this is a 6-inch widget, and it's got a clip-on 3-inch extender.
Has it?
Now, a clip-on 3-inch
God.
extender is something
Everyone
that I
knows.
could find a use
It
for.
really is.
Why that is better than a ruler? I understand widgets. You know, like 4-sided widgets with saying that's my 1-inch engagement range. This is my 3-inch piling move. But this isn't that.
No.
It's a 6-inch stick
Yeah.
and a 3-inch stick.
Cool.
Where your models move 7 inches or whatever. And I think that there was a plan in there that's kind of part formed.
I think the plan was we got a bit of spare space on this, gents. What should we fit in it?
Nah, they're definitely going to leave that blank.
Maybe.
This was somebody's plan. This was somebody's plan.
A plan that went
At
awry.
least it didn't have like, unlike no circles, triangles, pentagrams.
Was a pentagram 4.7 inches, was it?
I've never got that about Kill Team.
Anyway, I like the scenery. My favourite part about it is that there's.
I just wish there was 4 sprues of it.
I know. You've only got to paint this. Rock and roll. Off you go.
Scenery's quick. Maybe not the way you painted that white stuff. Right. So overall, as a box, what do we think? If you want to play Spearhead and you want to have the Stormcast and the Skaven faction, this is clearly a fantastic deal. It is expensive. It is Games Workshop prices. By Games Workshop prices, this is a pretty good deal. If you're interested in learning to play the Spearhead and you can split with a friend, you're getting all the kind of accessories you need around Spearhead. Again, great. If you are just looking to play Age of Sigmar, if you don't want both of these armies, if you're not interested in Spearhead, you don't want this box.
There's no rule book for you.
There's
no full size rule book for you to take with you. You are playing Spearhead with this box. It is an ultimate starter set for the game of Spearhead.
For the game of Spearhead, yes, absolutely.
But I guess you could think of that 2 ways. Is that added bonus in that previously, if you bought this, you'd have 2 rubbish Age of Sigmar armies.
Yeah.
You'd have 2 starter armies for a game where you're looking to play a 2,000 point game, right?
And you've got about 350 points.
And you've got about 350 points.
Yeah.
Or in this case, it'd probably be 500 points, 200 points.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you've got a game you can definitely play straight away.
Yes.
You've got the rulebook for that game.
Yes.
So rather than a normal box where you would be given a massive rulebook to barely play it, in this you're given an adequate rulebook to definitely play the game that you're playing.
Yeah. No, I think in that respect, which is why when we looked at the middle one, I really wish the middle one was enough to play the full Spearhead. And it's not quite. It's missing these 2 models.
Yeah.
Now, these 2 models are beautiful, but I don't think they're worth 70 quid or 60 quid.
No.
Which is the price difference between the 2 boxes.
It is.
You need to want to play Spearhead to get this box.
Yeah.
And if you want to play Spearhead, it's cracking value.
It's good. It's really good.
By Games Workshop standards. Yeah. Otherwise, get the starter set. Yeah, this is the ultimate starter set. You want the starter set if you're not interested in playing Spearhead. But I think if you're a new player, Spearhead, or if you're small playing space, whatever, while you're building an army, I think you do want Spearhead.
Go for it.
Because it's a playable game.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts. Oh, this is useful for you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. If you're still here and you're looking for ways to support the channel, there's obviously a lot of ways down in the description, but a key way is to use our affiliate links to Whaling Games and others. You buy your models from them, it doesn't cost you a penny more, and we earn a little bit of commission. Thank you.